All right, good morning and welcome to Hard Talk. So, the US election was just recently concluded, and Donald Trump was elected president again for the second time. He was president before, lost an election, and won re-election. So, I just want to discuss Donald Trump's win and maybe contrast it with what we have in Nigeria. I want in this segment try to see how we can, as a people, learn from what has happened in USA and how can we get better from it. Welcome to Hard Talk. So Donald Trump was recently, elected as the president for US a second time. And I think that's about 3 days ago. And the interesting thing about it is the way the election happened. And when I watched the election, I was trying to contrast it with what we have in Nigeria. I was trying to compare between the US election I just watched and what we have in Nigeria. And it's amazing how a country that got its independence a long time ago, like Nigeria, has refused to improve. So okay, watch how CNN announced Donald Trump as the winner, and compare it with what we have in Nigeria.
It is now official. CNN projects that Donald Trump has been elected president, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris and making a political comeback unlike any in modern American politics. Now, we can make this projection now because CNN projects that Donald Trump has won Wisconsin. You can see right there, currently ahead by 30,000 votes with 99% of the vote in. Mr. Trump is only the second former president in U.S. history to be re-elected to the White House. He will return to office after 2 impeachments in his first term, followed by unprecedented criminal indictments and felony convictions. Mr. Trump scoring a landmark victory as he now heads back to power, leading a politically divided nation. Again, CNN projects that Donald J. Trump is elected the 47th president of the United States. Let's go over. Actually, let's just take a quick look at the wall here. We can see with Wisconsin, Donald Trump now has 2.
Okay, so one of the things that you have to pick from this place is that CNN is able to project who will win the election. CNN could tell that Donald Trump was going to win the election, so they are able to see the results live as it's happening. They can tell, the different things that is happening, the different results from the different states. They are able to see it and project who the winner will be. CNN did not wait for anybody to announce. Do you want to contrast that with Nigeria? Well, let's contrast it with Nigeria. In Nigeria, an electoral rec somewhere will collate from somewhere to somewhere, and it will start from polling units to LGA to this, and then one professor somewhere in Ekiti State will enter flight and start going to Abuja to go and meet the INEC chairman, and then they say announcing the result of Ekiti, whatever, the person will now work with it. And then a professor that teaches students and pretends as if he's the best will come and be fiddling with calculator, struggling to add some things together. And eventually, everything will be tabulated in a terrible Excel. Everything will be tabulated and then handed over to the INEC chairman, who will now wake up by 2 a.m. 2 a.m. when people are sleeping. Not the one that US is doing. You are seeing it, they play, they show. Our own INEC chairman will wake up by 2 a.m. Just check, has everybody slept? Once everybody has slept, he will wake up 2 a.m. and then announce the results. Oh yeah, watch the difference between the way you could see CNN announcing results and what the INEC chairman in Nigeria announced in 2023. Watch the difference.
Okay, the Inspector General of Police, the National Security Advisor, agents of political parties, our development partners, the representative of the Code of Conduct Bureau, observers from the Commonwealth and other election observation missions, the media, ladies and gentlemen. Not forgetting the president of the Nigerian Bar Association. It has been a very long day for all of us. So it is now time for me to perform two responsibilities. First, as the Chief Electoral Commissioner of the Federation and the Collation Officer for the presidential election. And secondly, as the returning officer for the presidential election. I will now present the summary of results from the states of the Federation as collated from the submissions made by the state collation officers for the presidential election. Total registered voters for the entire nation is 93,469,008. Number of accredited voters is 25,286,616. The votes scored by each political party is as follows. A, Accord Party, 61,014. Action Alliance, AA, 14,542. African Action Congress, AAC, 14,608. ADC.
Okay, so you've seen this, you've watched this video now. Can you compare it with what you watched about CNN? The graphics, the presentation, the fact that the result is coming through the news channel instantly, not something that some people have found time to probably doctor and bring to us. Who is the INEC chairman or electoral body chairman in US? It's not about the person. It's very de-emphasized. In fact, I don't even know if they have INEC chairman, because it's not about one person who is giving so much power to not achieve anything. Because I mean, what are we achieving? What is this? It's not about one person. It's about a system that works. System every day will beat individuality. Word, take notes, copy notes. System every day will beat a champion, a strong man. A working system, a good system, will always beat a strong man. And that's what's important. Okay, so look at the USA. They had this election and there was no single holiday declared. No electoral holiday. No, there was no need for it. People went to work on the same day they voted. And the voting was not in one day. They didn't have to wait for one particular Saturday to wait and declare voting day and everybody will stay, this one will be in his house, and it is that day that somebody will do barbecue, because I mean he didn't even go out to vote. So, and of course there will be no lights, and then you have to run jet, and then if light comes you watch. I mean, all those shenanigans, there was no need for it, because a system works and we cursed people. Why? An interesting thing is Nigeria is one of the most religious countries in the world. If I say now, you say I should not talk about religion, I should not blame religion for it. So what should I blame? Seriously, what should I blame? Okay, look at where we are currently. Look at what's happening in Nigeria. With what is happening in Nigeria, the next thing we are seeing is the news that PFN is calling for 40 days prayer and fasting. I mean, we are faced with a problem. We face a problem, we jam a problem, and religion just comes up. I mean, there was another story about the president's wife and some other people trying to plan for prayers and all that. And then there's this other one, PFN calling for 40 days prayer and fasting. Who cursed us in this country? Why do we think religion is our way out? Why? Why can't we just ask ourselves simple questions? Why can't we challenge all this? And you know the funny thing, people will go to fast. Let me tell you the truth. You are just going to suffer yourself, because all the fastings you've been doing, what has changed in Nigeria? You will starve for nothing. Better eat, except maybe because the economy is bad and there's some form of poverty in the land and you don't have the money to eat, and then maybe that fasting is helping you do 101 or 001 or something. I understand and I respect that. That's your hustle. But if you are telling me that you are truly believing that you are fasting and that your fasting is going to make a difference in this country when the systems are bad, when our leaders are terrible, come on, for goodness sake. And then the pastors, those people who declare these things, do they really believe it? Do you think they believe it? Do they believe it? Are they declaring it because they believe it? Because they really believe that if they pray for 40 days, that anything will change. What of the ones they prayed before? What changed? Do we ever get to ask these people these questions? How can we be praying for infrastructure? I mean, okay, look at the Ebonyi State, for example. There was an airport that was built there. When this airport was going to be built, I know some people kept talking about it, that this airport is not going to be useful. And I think in Ekiti said as well, people talked about it, that this airport would not make any sense, any economic sense. Because how many people travel from Ebonyi State and all that? They're also looking at the economic power of the people living in the states. And then also looking at the nearness of the Enugu International Airport that is not also heavily utilized to the place. Why not build a connecting rail from Enugu to Ebonyi that is fast, that can take 30 minutes or less to bring people from Enugu to Ebonyi, so that you can just fly, interconnected stuff? I know that there's an economist in Twitter, Fim Plancano, that kept talking about that. And there's a truth there as well, if you look at the screen, that's also talked about it. Now, in this period, look at the amount of money that was wasted in originally building the airport, and another amount of money that has been wasted in rehabilitating the airport. And after that, somebody somewhere is praying for this airport, praying that the airport will function. Do you think that the US needs prayers? Do you think that it's by prayers that things in the United States are working? Okay, watch. put the iron gate? Who put this iron gate? Why did you put that iron gate? So religion is very blinding. It's very blinding. It makes you remove your eyes from the thing that is important. There is an economy of this thing. No? There's an economics of this thing. There's something that leads to something. If there is a flow, okay, do you think that there is need for somebody to go to Lagos International Airport and pray about iron gates that needs to be lifted? Do you think there's a need for it? Do you think? Why do we do things like this? Why do we continue to do something that is downright embarrassing? Because if we, again as a people, it brings me back to my original post where I started from. If we can use our education and remove things like religion that is covering us as a veil, that is preventing, because religion is very emotional. As I'm saying this, some of you are afraid that if you allow your mind to think that you've already sinned against somebody. So I understand that religion does that to you. But if you for 1 second can allow your education to function, allow your education to make you think that, okay, but why are we praying for airports in Ebonyi when in Lagos there's no need for them to pray for airports? Why do we have to do election the way we do it in Nigeria, while in USA, as election is happening, people already know the results, news channels can project? Do you think that Nigeria doesn't know what to do, or didn't know what to do in the last election and wasn't going there? When we started from Kadida. Kadida had its flaws. We improved it with Beavers. Beavers had, a portal where you can view it, and it was working. But because of the human factor, because we are Nigerians, and there is something sinister, and because there is no strong institution. When I talk about strong institution that is backing this, it means the institution of the judiciary that should protect the laws, the strong laws that you can't fail, and the strong institution called INEC, not the chairman, that will ensure that only the right thing is done. Because we do not have it, we failed the people. My message is simple. Find time as a person to ask yourself, am I using my brain as a Nigerian? Or am I using emotions as a Nigerian to do whatever I am doing? That will be my final message. Please, eat. Because if you add hunger to the hunger that we're already experiencing in Nigeria, I can't guarantee what will happen to you. This has been Hard Talk.